What it do, YouTube, man? It's your boy Solid back with another solid reaction. And today, we got the full career breakdown of Michael Jordan, the GOAT, from 1978 to 2022, which I don't understand how you got 2022. Maybe you going off of the, career being in, coaching, ownership and stuff like that. Maybe that's what you mean. But, man, we're going to go ahead and check this one out, man. If this is your first time seeing your boy Solid on your screen or you're a returning subscriber, man, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you never miss another solid upload. But let's go ahead and get into this one to see what's going on.
I want to talk about the career and legendary moments of basketball's superstar of superstars, Michael Jordan. The man, the myth, the legend, the trash-talking, one-of-a-kind athlete that changed the NBA forever. But what motivated Michael Jordan to become the greatest player to ever live? Well, getting cut from the varsity team in his sophomore year for being too small definitely put a chip on Jordan's shoulder, and he would go on to dominate the junior varsity team while averaging 25 points per game. And by that next summer, Jordan had grown 4 inches, and in his senior year was invited to the 4th annual McDonald's All-American game, where he proceeded to score 30 points, and Jordan would then accept a scholarship to play for the North Carolina Tar Heels, led by legendary coach Dean Smith. He would go on to hit the game-winning shot in the 1982 championship game versus the Georgetown Hoyas, who was led by fellow superstar Patrick Ewing, and Jordan would be named to the ACC All-American First Team twice, while averaging 17 points per game, and in his junior year, he declared for the 1984 NBA draft.
The Chicago Bulls picked Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
See, back then, I had to think about it. How did they do it? Was it a phone call? And then they're like, okay, Bulls pick, Michael Jordan. And then they run up to him with a card and be like, hey, this is who they picking?
And Hakeem Olajuwon,
I don't think you really had headsets and stuff like that.
He was a great college player, but struggled with leg and foot injuries from, being 7'1". But I can't blame the Rockets and Trailblazers for this, as both teams had guards and were looking for big men to complement them. And to be fair, it worked out for the Rockets, as they got 2 championships in the 90s with Hakeem, but not so much for Portland, obviously. Nevertheless, Jordan would average 28 points per game in his rookie year, and he brought life into the Bulls organization, helping them win 11 more games from the previous year and made it to the playoffs, losing to the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. But no doubt it was a success for Jordan, winning Rookie of the Year in the process and getting voted to the All-Star game as an All-Star starter. But after a promising season, it all went tumbling down. As in Jordan's sophomore year, he would break his foot, missing 64 games, and as a result, the Bulls would go 30-52 that year, but would still make the playoffs with a losing record. And while Jordan was rehabbing his foot, he asked the Bulls if he can go back to North Carolina and rehab his foot. They said yes, and while Jordan was there, he would play full 5-on-5 games without the Bulls' knowledge, which means he returned just as the...
That man down there said, yo, hey, I'm going to go home and rehab my foot, get my studies right, get ready, come back. Because, I can't do nothing while I'm here, so, is it okay if I go to the crib, rehab, and, study up so I can go ahead and finish off college? Yeah, Mike, don't worry about it, Mike. Hey, Jetty. Yeah, I'm on the plane right now. I'll be down there. Y'all running fast tonight? Big back, bro. Tell him to slide through. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm a little busted up, man. I'll take that bit. We'll be out there in a second. All right, cool. All right, later. Bye. That's what we talking about. That's Mike right there. He said, hey, I'm gonna go home and practice. I'm not going to sit on my butt. Sorry.
The postseason started and would infamously drop a still record 63 points against who some consider the greatest team of all time, the 85-86 Celtics, led by Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. But the Bulls would get swept, mainly due to how great the Celtics were and Jordan not having a lot of help around him.
But
for the next 5 seasons, Jordan will recover completely from the foot injury and post some of the best seasons in NBA history, joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only 2 players to score 3,000 points in a single season, while improving his already stout defense, becoming the first player to ever win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season. But Jordan lost in the first round to the Celtics twice, and as great as Jordan was, he had to start winning. In the 1987-88 season, the Bulls would draft Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, and they improved to 50-32 thanks to Jordan's brilliance and the Bulls defense led by Charles Oakley. The Bulls Bulls got out of the first round for the first time in the Jordan era, beating the Cavs in the first round, but would suffer their first defeat to the Detroit Pistons, led by Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, a team in their own right who was on the come up, and next season was no different for Jordan. He once again led the league in scoring, but the Bulls would win 3 less games.
Low key, the coloration on this video is messing with me. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Again, beating the Cavs in the first round and hitting that game-winning
shot that's money.
over Craig Elo that sent the Cavs home, commonly referred to as the shot. And for the second year in a row, the Bulls made it to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Pistons. And this time, the Pistons came up with the Jordan rules. Every time Jordan drove to the basket, Pistons would hit him, double him, trap him, do whatever they had to do to get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat them. And for the second year in a row, the Pistons beat the Bulls, this time in 6 games, and will go on to win the title that year. Meanwhile, Jordan and the Bulls knew they had to get better to beat the Pistons, so Jordan trained and got stronger, knowing he was going to see them again, and he wanted to be ready. The 1989-90 season would be where many changes would happen for Chicago, as they replaced their head coach Doug Collins with Phil Jackson in his triangle offense, while Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen were steadily improving. That led to Chicago improving their record to 55-27, and that year in a regular season game versus the Cavs, this man Jordan loved the Cavs. Jordan would drop a career-high 69 points and just made the Cavs look hopeless. And with so much improvement going on around the Bulls, they felt ready to finally slay the Pistons, and the Bulls made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year, but unfortunately losing again to the Pistons in 7 games, who were going to win their 2nd title. And this being the 3rd straight conference finals defeat for Jordan and the Bulls. But this will be the last time the Pistons will beat a Jordan-led team in the playoffs, as the next year, Scottie Pippen rose to all-star level player, and Phil Jackson's triangle offense started to take shape. The Bulls finished with a 61-21 record, and Jordan won his 2nd MVP, and for the 4th year in a row, the Bulls will face the Pistons in the conference finals. But 4 straight runs deep in the playoffs caught up with the Pistons, and with Jordan now having legitimate help in Scottie Pippen, the Bulls would finally, after 4 tries, beat the Pistons in advance for the first.
To me, this is a bad moment in history, in NBA history. I really wish that it would have been Isaiah like being a leader, been like, no, okay, he finally did it. That we should congratulate him. We should be happy that this young man is finally coming in the rights. We knew he was coming because Isaiah even said it, like, we knew he was coming. You knew Mike was coming. You was just doing what you could to slow it. So Isaiah knew it was coming. So why didn't he just be like, you know what? He finally did it. Let's give him his props. Let's shake their hands and go. The walk-off was just, to me, I feel like it was a little childish. That's just personal.
It's time to the NBA Finals to face the Los Angeles Lakers, led by 5-time champion Magic Johnson, but Kareem had retired and the Lakers were just not good enough to beat the Bulls, as Jordan won his first championship, first Finals MVP, and 2nd league MVP. Of course, one of the most iconic moments in that series being in Game 2 when Jordan switched hands and made the layup, and this represented a changing of the guard in the NBA, as in 1992, the Olympics allowed the NBA to use NBA players instead of college players, and that 1992 USA Olympic team, often referred to as
the Dream Team,
was and still is the greatest assembly of talent any basketball Olympic team has ever seen. And one player that infamously wasn't on the team was Isaiah Thomas. It's said that because of the bad blood he had with the bad boy Pistons, Jordan didn't want Isaiah on the team, and because he was Michael Jordan, they agreed, and Thomas was never invited to play for the team, even though he clearly deserved it, being a 2-time NBA champion. Players like Bird, Magic, Jordan, Barkley, Robinson, and many others represented the United States by winning the gold medal, and after seeing the popularity of Michael Jordan in the Olympics, there was a clear shift in the NBA, as Magic retired in 1991 due to him contracting HIV virus. Larry Bird retired in 1992 due to back problems. The Pistons were old, and Jordan took full advantage, winning 2 more championships against the Trailblazers, led by Clyde the Glide Drexler, and the Phoenix Suns in 1993, led by league MVP Charles Barkley. And Jordan proceeded to show Barkley who the real MVP was by dominating the NBA Finals, averaging a crazy 41 points per game in 6 games they played, and firmly established himself as the best player in the world.
The elevation just a month after winning on that. Look at that elevation.
crazy 41 points per game.
Look at the elevation. Hold on, not that one.
And firmly established himself as the
Look at the elevation.
best player in the world.
Wow.
Just a month after winning his third NBA championship, everything would change for Michael Jordan. And on July 23rd, 1993, Michael Jordan's father, James R. Jordan Sr., was sleeping in his brand new red Lexus Michael had bought him on the side of the road, and two men, Daniel Green and Larry Demery, noticed the vehicle, shot James R. Sr. in the chest, and took the car. Obviously, this was a horrible situation to happen, and it affected Michael deeply, as Jordan would often call his dad his best friend. 3 months later, Michael Jordan would shock the world and retire from the game of basketball and play Major League Baseball. He initially said it was because of the long, grueling seasons and pressure of being the most popular
then he went to longer
athlete in
seasons.
the world. But a lot of people believe the commissioner of the NBA at the time, David Stern, wanted to punish Jordan for his constant gambling habits, but didn't want to let the public know, as Jordan was the most popular athlete in the NBA, so Jordan only retired to cover up the whole thing. But these claims never had any proof to them, and David Stern even denied it in the Last Dance documentary. Jordan would only play 1 year with the White Sox AA team, hitting just 3 home runs and 51 RBI. In Jordan's absence, Scottie Pippen would emerge as the guy and have career years without Michael, but the Bulls would not make it to the finals without Jordan. In 1995, the MLB went on a strike, which means Jordan wasn't playing baseball, and on March 19th, 1995, 17 months after saying goodbye to the game, he returned in a road game against Reggie Miller and the Pacers and was rocking the number 45 this time. And with 35 million people watching to see the return.
Oh my God. That's what I talk about. Skywalking. Jesus. Woo. That's it.
Reggie Miller and the Pacers and was rocking the number 45 this time. And with 35
Look
million
at that
people
skywalk. Look at that skywalk. That's skywalking, bro. He
see the return.
He freaking levitated to the
Of the
basket.
most popular athlete in the world, the Bulls would end up losing in overtime 103-96, and Jordan looked a little rusty, but it didn't matter. All that mattered was he was back, but it would not be enough for the Bulls to get back to the NBA Finals that year, as the Bulls would shockingly lose to the Shaq and Penny Hardaway-led Orlando Magic, and Jordan looked noticeably rusty compared to his normal self, and people started to naturally question if he had it anymore after a long layoff. Also,
it's only
Scottie
17
Pippen was
months.
almost traded after they lost their series for Sean Kemp, so it was a lot of questions about the Bulls and would they still be able to contend. But I don't think anybody was prepared for what the Bulls would do the next season. On October 3rd, 1995, the Bulls would trade their backup center Will Perdue for Dennis Rodman, and he would majorly contribute to what is regarded as one of the greatest seasons in NBA history. The Bulls won a then record 72 games, only being broken in 2016 by the Golden State Warriors. The Bulls went on a record 44-game winning streak, starting 37-0 on their home court, and Rodman gave the Bulls that tenacious rebounding, that hustle, and that defense that the aging Bulls desperately needed. And the Bulls would cap off their season with Jordan's 4th championship against the hungry and talented Seattle Supersonics, led by aforementioned Sean Kemp and defensive stud Gary Payton, giving Jordan his 4th MVP, and once again led the league in scoring with a little over 30 points per game, and proved he was still the best player on the planet. Jordan and the Bulls will make it to the NBA Finals the next 2 years, beating the Karl Malone and John Stockton-led Jazz in 1997 and 1998 to give Jordan and the Bulls 6 championships total, while also racking up another MVP award by 1998.
6 MVPs
Jerry
total.
Krause, the Bulls general manager, has been wanting to make a change to the team for a while and made it clear he didn't want Phil Jackson coming back in 1999 as a coach, saying, "I don't care if you go 82-0, you're not coming back here." And because Michael Jordan respected Phil Jackson and didn't want to play for another coach, it basically was set in stone that this was it, the last dance. And that's
just think about it. All right, like I get it. I mean, some people like, hey, we in different directions or whatever, but to break up a championship team just because it ain't what you want, because it's not what your idea of what you want, and it's stupid to me. It's stupid to me because think about it. Possibly, I'm not saying a guarantee. Possibly, you could have got 2 or 3 more championships out of Mike. You could have got 2 or 3 more championships out of Mike. Because then he retired again, and he took 3 years off, and then came back with the Washington Wizards. Like, You could have legit got at least legitimately maybe 2 or 3 more championships out of Mike, and you threw him away because you didn't want Phil Jackson. What type of Phil Jackson is the most winningest coach in NBA history, and you didn't want him? Like, what did Phil do to you? That's what I need to know. I need to know. I don't know
exactly what happened. As on January 13th, 1999, a couple days after I was born, actually, Jordan retired for the 2nd time. Then Phil Jackson left to the Lakers as their head coach. They traded Scottie Pippen and waived Dennis Rodman. And ever since, the Bulls has never made it back to the NBA Finals. And Jerry Krause was fired in 2003. So no, Jerry, management doesn't just win championship, players do. I know the Bulls were getting older, but I think they could have gotten another championship out of that team. But hey, we'll never know. The man that inspired so many people around the world was gone, and the NBA felt it, as the NBA's ratings took a steep decline after Jordan's retirement, as the 1999 NBA Finals suffered a 40% drop from the year prior, even though the New York Knicks played in those finals. Now, that wasn't the only reason for the lack of interest in the NBA around
NBA
this
lockout,
time, but it was a big
games,
part of it.
underwhelming.
In 2001, 2 years after calling it quits,
2 years. I said 3. That was my fault.
As the president of basketball operations for the Washington Wizards, and there he was back in the NBA, and this deal gave him 20% ownership of the team, and Jordan sought out to be better than Bulls management was with him. And with the 2001 draft coming up, Jordan had his sights set on one player in particular, a high school center by the name of Kwame Brown from Glenn Academy in Georgia, who was rated as one of the top centers in high school with averages of 20 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. Jordan liked him and knew he wanted to draft him. Apparently, Kwame told the Wizards staff, "If you draft me, you'll never regret it." And when draft night rolled around, Jordan got his guy, taking Kwame Brown first overall, and Jordan, thinking the Wizards was a playoff team, decided to step down from his role as part owner, basically, to once again make his return at age 38, but not for the Bulls, but the Wizards. And Jordan's Wizards years were marked by Kwame Brown becoming the biggest bust in NBA history, averaging only 6 points and 5 rebounds per game, playing for multiple teams, and never truly showing the potential Jordan saw in him. Also, Jordan looked good in stretches and still had good bursts for his age, but the Wizards weren't that good, never making the playoffs in Jordan's 2 seasons there. After playing 142 games for the Wizards from 2001 to 2003, Jordan, for the 3rd and final time, called it quits. Jordan thought he would be able to return to his role back in the front office. The Wizards owner said, "Nah, buddy, you built and played for this team that just missed the playoffs for 2 straight seasons, and you think you finna come get your job back? Nah." So they basically fired Michael Jordan. He would go on to buy the Charlotte Bobcats, now known as the Charlotte Hornets. Overall, Michael Jordan had a career many players can only dream of. He redefined what a superstar was, and absolutely is a global icon that not only dominated on the court, but continues to dominate the shoe market, as his Jordans are still the most bought shoes 20 years after he retired. No matter what moment, Jordan rose to the occasion with jaw-dropping performances, a truly one-of-a-kind talent and basketball player. And that is all I have for y'all. Please like and subscribe.
All right, man, that is the end of this video, man. I really love the recap, man. I love how he went through all of it and was like, look, this is what happened. This is what happened. But, yeah, to this day, I still don't understand the whole getting rid of Phil Jackson, even though they're winning. You know, I know you didn't like Mike because you didn't draft Mike. You know, stuff like that. I get it. But at the point of the chance, you're winning. Shut the hell up and win. That's what I'm saying. If you're winning, you're winning. I don't care if you don't like the pitcher and that you're winning in. If you're winning, you're winning. Once the pitcher fades away, then you'll get a little bit more longevity. Because I want you to think about it. Robert Krause. If you win 2 more titles, let's say one more title. I don't think the Bulls fire you. I don't think they fire you. They're like, man, he did give us 4 titles. He did give us, this. Let's give him a little bit more and see if he can come up with something else. He might be able to come up with something else. He did give us Scottie. He did trade for Dennis Rodman. He did do this and this, and Ron Harper and got us all of this that we needed for the second run. Maybe he can pull something out of his butt, So you get some longevity from that. But when you're the first person to say, I need Phil gone and Mike, the 2 people who brought them rings to begin with, the Bulls is like, yo, you bugging the fuck out. But, man, that is the end of this video, man. I hope y'all guys did enjoy it. Hit that like button. Subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.